Betty, bam lamb, whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb, Black Betty had a child, bam lamb.
Some songs didn't need a second chance to be unforgettable. They just showed up, played their part, and vanished, leaving behind a melody you couldn't shake if you tried. You've probably caught one of these playing at the grocery store or maybe drifting through an old movie scene. And suddenly, you're back to the good old days. You don't always remember the artist, or even the title, but when the chorus hits, you can't help but sing along. Today we'll be looking into 15 forgotten rock one-hit wonders from the 70s that'll blow your mind. Number 15, Spirit in the Sky, Norman Greenbaum. Let's start with the 70s' perfect example of gospel rock anthem for the afterlife. Spirit in the Sky feels somewhat like a spiritual experience. Written and performed by Norman Greenbaum, a Jewish singer-songwriter inspired by watching Porter Wagoner on TV. This song mixes roaring guitar, hand claps, gospel backing vocals, and lyrics about meeting Jesus when you die. Surprising twist considering Greenbaum wasn't Christian and wrote the song more for its vibe than its theology. Released in 1969, it released number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 in the UK in 1970. Its instantly recognizable riff was played on a Fender Telecaster, run through a chain of distortion pedals and tube amps, giving it that thick, buzzy tone that still punches through speakers today. Greenbaum never had another hit anywhere near this big, but Spirit in the Sky became a classic, from movies and commercials to TV shows and playlists. It's the kind of song that outlived its creator's spotlight and became something bigger. Our next track kicks down the door and brings the thunder with one of the best hard rock tracks from the 70s. Number 14, Black Betty, Ram Jam, 1977.
Black Betty, bam lamb, whoa, Black Betty, bam lamb, Black Betty had a child, bam lamb.
Black Betty by Ram Jam is a track that sounds like it was born in a biker bar during a lightning storm. Released in 1977, it's loud, raw, and relentless, clocking in at just over 3 minutes of pure southern rock energy. The song itself dates back to an old African-American work song, first recorded in the 1930s. Ram Jam's version electrified it, literally, layering in hard rock guitars and a pounding beat that transformed it into a stadium shaker. Despite its commercial success, hitting number 18 on the Billboard Hot 100, Ram Jam never replicated that magic. Controversies around the lyrics and debates about the song's origins caused waves, but the riff remains unbelievably iconic. Black Betty became one of those rock anthems that lives on in muscle car commercials, action movie montages, and anywhere you need an instant jolt of adrenaline. Just when your pulse starts to settle, our next track takes you into the smoky beauty of late-night romance with a duet that no one saw coming. Number 13, Stumblin' In, Chris Norman and Susie Quatro, 1978. Some songs sneak up on you, like a spark you didn't expect, and suddenly you're lost in it. Stumblin' In was the surprise soft rock duet that caught everyone off guard. Released in 1978, it paired Chris Norman, lead singer of British glam rock band Smokey, and Susie Quatro, the bass-wielding queen of leather and raw rock vocals. It was an unlikely romantic team-up, and it totally worked. The track is gentle but magnetic, a cozy blend of acoustic guitar, soft drums, and vocal chemistry that feels like two old friends falling into something more. It climbed to number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100 and remains both artists' biggest US hit. Quatro herself was a trailblazer for women in rock, known for her tough image and gritty voice. But here she softened just enough to let vulnerability shine through. That contrast, rock icons going tender, made the whole thing unforgettable. Our next track cranks things way back up, with a rock soul shuffle that practically kicks the door open. Number 12, Resurrection Shuffle, Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke, 1971. If your hips aren't moving by the first 15 seconds of this song, check your pulse. Resurrection Shuffle is what happens when rugged rock meets gospel swagger in a smoky bar with a brass section. Released in 1971 by British trio Ashton, Gardner, and Dyke, The track bursts open with stomping piano, blaring horns, and raspy let-it-all-out vocals that demand movement. It was a surprise hit in the UK and made a modest dent into the US charts, but it feels much bigger than its chart position, like it could soundtrack a bar fight in a Tarantino film. The song title might sound like a Halloween special, but it's really about shaking off life stress and hitting the dance floor like your soul depends on it. They never hit the charts again, but Resurrection Shuffle still shows up in soundtracks and vinyl bins, waiting to surprise someone new. Speaking of surprising vocals, the next band brought us a smooth-talking frontman with a hit so catchy, it practically sold charm by the verse. Number 11, The Rapper, The Jaggers, 1970. Long before rapper meant hip-hop, it meant a slick guy with a silver tongue. And this song had one of the slickest. In 1970, the Jaggers dropped The Rapper, a funky melodic rock track about a smooth-talking ladies' man who always says the right thing, until he doesn't. It was clever, laid back, and surprisingly fresh for its time. The title confused some folks later on, but make no mistake, this is classic blue-eyed soul rock with a smirk. The Jaggers were a Pittsburgh-based band led by Donnie Iris, who'd later find solo fame in the 80s. The Rapper hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and was their one real shot at national recognition. And it perfectly captured that post-60s pre-disco sweet spot where rock was playful but still had teeth. If The Rapper was all swagger and charm, our next track turns the dial to full sunshine. Swap the smoky lounges of 1970 for the carefree breeze of 1976, because here comes a song that sounds like summer in a bottle. Number 10, Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang, Silver, 1976.
You gotta wham, bam, shang-a-lang and a sha-la.
With a title like this, how could it not be a hit? Wham Bam Shang-a-Lang might just be one of the most unapologetically feel-good songs on this list. Released in 1976 by the band Silver, it's got electric guitars, smooth harmonies, and a chorus that sounds like it was made for car radios and backyard barbecues. It barely cracked the top 20 when it came out, but over time, it became one of those under-the-radar gems that lives forever in soft rock playlists and 70s mixtapes. It even earned a second life decades later when it appeared on the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 soundtrack, introducing a whole new generation to its Shang-a-Lang charm. Fun fact, the song was co-written by Rick Giles and featured contributions from Brent Midland, yes, the future Grateful Dead keyboardist. And after that sun-soaked detour, it's time to slow it down again, with a track that broke hearts and stirred tears over the loss of man's best friend. Number 9, Shannon, Henry Gross, 1976. Some songs sneak up on you, others just walk right in and break your heart. This one does both. Shannon is a soft rock ballad that feels like a long sigh. Released in 1976, it tells the story of a beloved golden retriever lost at sea. And yes, that's really what it's about. Henry Gross wrote it after hearing about the death of Beach Boys member Carl Wilson's dog, and somehow turned grief into a haunting, floaty tune that aches with every verse. It's drenched in ocean imagery, wave crashing, wind blowing, and backed by delicate harmonies that give it somewhat of a Beach Boys feel. The chorus swells like a rising tide. By the time it fades out, you're left a little misty-eyed, whether you're a dog person or not. Shannon became Gross's only major hit, reaching number 6 on the Billboard charts. Following Shannon, Henry Gross released Springtime Mama. However, it never reached the same level of success, but let's be honest, most songwriters would trade a dozen minor hits for one that leaves a mark like Shannon did. After drifting through the emotional waves of Shannon, it's time to climb aboard something a little more psychedelic. Our next song swaps heartbreak for head trips, and sets sail with 73 guys who clearly didn't check the weather forecast. Number 8, Ride Captain Ride, Blues Image, 1970.
Captain, ride upon your mystery ship.
Released in 1970, Ride Captain Ride by Blues Image is pure psychedelic rock poetry. From the first shimmering note of that electric piano, You feel like you're boarding a ship headed for someplace unknown, chasing freedom on an open sea of sound. Blues Image was a Tampa-based band, and while they were short-lived, they struck gold with this dreamy track. The story behind it goes that keyboardist Frank "Skip" Conte came up with the phrase 73 men sailed up from the San Francisco Bay, out of nowhere. Guitarist Mike Panera built the song around it, giving us a mix of swirling organ, soulful guitar, and vocals that sound like a call to adventure.
73 men sailing off to history.
Ride Captain Ride reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. The band never scored another major hit. Still, it became a permanent part of rock history, a kind of tune that lives on in classic rock radio, road trip playlists, and the mind of anyone who grew up dreaming of escape. But let's pick the tempo back up, shall we? Our next song brings the energy of a packed disco floor. Number 7, Vehicle, The Ides of March, 1970.
Vehicle, baby, take it anywhere you wanna go. I'm your vehicle.
What if I told you the most badass horn section of the 70s wasn't from Chicago or Blood, Sweat, and Tears, but from a one-hit wonder out of Berwyn, Illinois? Vehicle dropped in 1970 and immediately exploded onto the airwaves. With its brassy punch and gritty vocals, it sounds like a rock band possessed by a marching band, and it works. This track became the fastest-selling single in Warner Brothers history at the time, peaking at number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Ides of March called it the heaviest-sounding song about picking up a girl ever written. That's honestly not far off. The lyrics are cheeky, "I'm your vehicle, baby," but the delivery? Dead serious. And yet, for all of its success, Vehicle became both a rocket and a ceiling. The Ides of March had a few minor releases afterward, but none even came close to this smash hit. It was lightning in a bottle, and for most people, this is the only Ides of March song they remember. Fun fact, frontman Jim Peterick would later co-found Survivor and co-write Eye of the Tiger, but for this band, Vehicle was the beginning and the end of the ride. Number 6, Play That Funky Music, Wild Cherry, 1976. Sometimes a party anthem just arrives, and no one forgets the first time they heard it. Released in 1976, Wild Cherry's Play That Funky Music became an instant anthem for dance floors and living rooms alike. Wherever it played, the beat took control. The story goes that the band was originally a hard rock group, but when they saw funk dominating the charts, they decided to switch gears, and the results were pure magic. The song's funky bass line, catchy chorus, and infectious groove made it an instant hit, climbing all the way to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It's a celebration of breaking free from expectations and just letting the music move you. Fun fact, lead singer Rob Parisi wrote it after being heckled to play some funky music at a gig, and turned that shout into a timeless anthem. Number 5, All Right Now, Free, 1970.
All right now, baby, it's all right.
You know those songs that just kick the door open and walk in like they own the room? This is one of them. All Right Now by British rock band Free is pure unfiltered arena energy bottled into one perfect track. Released in 1970, it's got that iconic opening guitar riff, clean, punchy, and instantly recognizable. You could argue this is the very sound of classic rock being born. The story behind the song? Free had just played a total flop of a gig to a bored college crowd. So afterwards, bassist Andy Frazier and singer Paul Rogers sat down and said, "We need a hit." That same day, they knocked out All Right Now in about 10 minutes. The song soared to the top 5 in both the UK and US, becoming their defining track. While Paul Rogers would go on to front Bad Company and even tour with Queen decades later, Free never landed another hit this big. It's one of those timeless rock songs, forever blasting from musical cars, bar jukeboxes, and stadium speakers. From classic rock to the soulful powerhouse vocals of the late 70s, our next track will have you up and dancing in no time. Number 4, Magic, Pilot, 1974.
Ho, 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 it's magic, you know.
Every once in a while, a song comes along that just feels like sunshine. Magic, released in 1974 by Scottish band Pilot, is pure pop rock bliss. From the opening line, "Oh ho ho, it's magic," you're already smiling. The warm harmonies, upbeat rhythm, and gently psychedelic vibe make it feel like a song that belongs to a summer afternoon, with your windows down and the wind in your hair. It was a major hit. Reaching number 5 in the US, it became the kind of tune that outlived its moment. Whether you remember it from childhood, a movie scene, or even a cereal commercial, it sticks. Though Pilot had modest success in the UK, they never had another US hit this big. But honestly, when your only hit feels this timeless, it's hard to call it anything but a win. Coming up next, we swing the mood again with a lesser-known rock track that hides heartbreak behind jangly guitars and a deceptively catchy hook. Number 3, Go Back, Krabby Appleton, 1970. This one's for the lost romantics, the ones who fell in love with the wrong person but couldn't help it anyway. Go Back was the only charting single from LA-based band Krabby Appleton, fronted by singer-songwriter Michael Finley. Released in 1970, the track blends that jangle of folk rock with the raw ache of post-hippie disillusionment. It peaked at number 36 on the Billboard Hot 100, but its melodic charm and lyrical yearning gave it staying power among rock fans. Finley's voice is laid back but emotionally pointed, and the arrangement is deceptively simple, letting the story of regret and longing breathe. Critics praised the band, but commercial success never followed. Still, Go Back has legend status today, showing up in vinyl collections and classic rock playlists. And speaking of rock classics, our next track may have started as just a party jam, but it ended up becoming a major hit. Number 2, Dancing in the Moonlight, King Harvest, 1972. There's something magical about a night spent dancing under a silver moon. Released in 1972, Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest is a smooth anthem soaked in carefree summer vibes. With its easygoing piano keys, warm harmonies, and an irresistibly upbeat chorus, it instantly transports you to a night of laughter and joy. The song wasn't a huge hit right away, but it grew steadily in popularity over the years, eventually becoming a staple at parties and on oldies playlists everywhere. Interestingly, King Harvest was formed from the ashes of a band called the Fabulous Castiles, making this track a happy second act for the group's members. And now to close out our list, a song that's not just a hit, but a little piece of 70s magic. Number 1, Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, Looking Glass, 1972. The sailors say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. This is the kind of song that tells a story you didn't know you needed to hear. Topping our list is Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, a bittersweet tale of love and sacrifice released by Looking Glass in 1972. With its memorable whistling intro and sing-along chorus, the song tells the story of Brandy, a harbor town bartender who loves a sailor torn between love and the sea. It soared to number 1 on the Billboard charts and has since become an enduring classic, inspiring covers and appearing in countless movies and TV shows. The songwriting duo of Elliot Lurie and Larry Gonski crafted a narrative so vivid you could almost smell the salt air and hear the waves crashing. These songs might have slipped through the cracks of time, but their stories, sounds, and vibes are as alive as ever. If you loved this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more nostalgic journeys through music history. Got a favorite one-hit wonder we didn't mention? Drop it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.